Hey, my earth signs, how you doing? My Tauruses, Virgos, and Capricorns. I hope you're doing well. This will be your new moon solar eclipse reading. So, again, if you are of earth sign, earth element, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or have any placements of these signs, this will be your reading. All right, we're going to jump right into it as I have one more element to go and had to kind of stop in between to do other things. So I've been multitasking in between these readings. So I'm kind of winding down. So anyway, earth signs, just so you guys know that, like I mentioned with the other elements, that this is a general for the collective of earth signs. And so hopefully I'll be able to give you guys a glimpse into what will be the theme, which we're going to touch upon in a second, as well as understanding more or less what this new moon in the sign of Libra, which has the solar eclipse, what it will mean for us earth signs, because it means something. Each element sign has not gotten like a duplicate. So far, each element up until the element of earth, which includes me as well, because I am a Taurus, so whatever messages come out, it would be for my benefit as well. But each so far has had their own solar theme. And so speaking of which, as I did with other elements, I'm just going to quickly give you guys a quick view of what decks I have used to use for the layout of these readings. And so the first card that I pulled from was from this deck, the Sun Oracle deck, because the Sun is connected to the solar eclipse, right? And it's a very big, powerful energy. So I wanted to start off the reading with an oracle, which I have done. So as you know, I have pre-shuffled and pre-drawn our cards. Then once we have pulled out, which has already been pulled out, the Sun Oracle, that will represent the theme for us during this 6-month period, because for emphasis, this solar eclipse, its effects will be felt throughout the next 6 months. However, though, I have pulled out cards to give us earth signs a glimpse into what and how we can prepare ourselves for challenges and anything else in between, particularly for the next 3 months. So this reading for us is going to be in effect from October into the 3-month, which will include the new month of the new year 2024, and then you will have an idea of what might come up, and at the same time, it will kind of prepare us for the duration remainder of that 3-month period. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So anyhow. And then once we have already pulled out our solar theme, it will follow by 3 cards coming from the Angel Guide deck, which I pulled 3 because that would represent challenges. 3 challenges that might potentially come up for us earth signs. Then I have pulled 2 cards per each of those challenges, which would represent pretty much the overall message behind those challenges, but at the same time, what is needed for us to overcome those challenges. And then we will close out with another oracle from the Wisdom of the Oracles deck. Okay, I always like to incorporate Spirit's advice for us, and as I did with the other elements, because by getting the final advice from Spirit, this way it kind of either will confirm once again or highlight how all of these messages here will sum up and correlate with what it is that we need to do ultimately to get to where we need to do, or get to where we need to go. You guys follow me. I'm sorry. I'm kind of winding down and just a little hot as well. So with that being said, guys, before we actually get right into the spread, I do want to just give you an overall overview of what really this solar eclipse is really all about. So as I did with the other elements, I am going to quickly just go through again in detail specifically what it means for us. Okay, so this new moon phase is attached with a solar eclipse, and it's a eclipse of two things that it will focus on: transformation and realization. Okay? Transformation and realization is the ultimate goal here behind this solar eclipse. Okay? And so the question is, how so? Saturday morning, October 14th, tomorrow, at 10:55 a.m. Pacific time, brings a very special lunation. Not only is the new moon an eclipse, but there is a remarkable presence of Aries, known, or Eris, I think it's Eris, known as dwarf planet, or as a dwarf planet. But its energies is related to the phrase, no holds barred fight for continued existence, that is fundamental when making a stand for what one believes, especially of or for ourselves. And so this feminine warrior, that of Aries, the energy and the attitude will help our own soul intention, allowing us to go into the deep, into the depth within our psyche, encouraging us to find our deepest values and act upon these as we make our way forward. So in one aspect, that will be like the realizational aspect of what this eclipse will mean for us. Now, in terms of the transformational aspect of this eclipse, there is the planet Pluto that has been said that have been featured in recent new moon configurations, pointing to our inner moral compass. The moral is that these are very extreme, difficult times here on planet Earth, and can be seen with what we recently have seen with two unrelentingly wars going on presently. So with world events and planets that are at play unbeknownst to us, the relevance of this is that unexpected events are still in the works. And so more than ever, we all need to find within ourselves the courage, faith in the universe, and ourselves to go on. And in speaking about ourselves, there's also planet Chiron in the mix that will continue to heighten and further look into the more deeper emotional layers that exist within all of us. And in tarot, that emotional deep layer type of emotion is somewhat associated, or in translation, to that of the moon card, because the moon card is an energy that delves deep into our emotions. And Chiron archetype is that of the wounded healer, which represents, if you will, in tarot, the Nine of Wands, because the Nine of Wands is associated with that of being the wounded healer. And it represents inner wounding as a result of some unresolved early childhood trauma. But ultimately, it's very good to know that we have an opportunity during this eclipse to transmute the potential of healing such issues. Therefore, this eclipse highlights an opportunity to find our way forward in spite of, and even with the aid of, our own internal wounding. So in closing, the solar eclipse new moon will give us a great deal of ammunition to fuel us in finding our most authentic self as we move forward towards or proceed along our destined path. All right? And for emphasis again, this eclipse will be in effect starting from tomorrow throughout the next 6 months. So around about April or so, that will be like the wind down or the phasing of the end of this eclipse. But as I mentioned before, that what I have done for us, and with all the other elements, is I have pulled out enough where we can just focus in on what the 3 months, our next 3 months, will look like. Because whatever we're going to see during now and the top of January, it will kind of prepare us, is what I will feel. It kind of will propel us and prepare us to deal with the challenges that we have that have come out for us. Okay, guys, give me a second. I want to open up this window. All right. The fact that I opened the window, that means that we might hear some outside traffic, but right now I'm feeling a bit hot, so I need that air. So let's get right into the cards, shall we? So the first card that came out from that Sun's Oracle deck that will represent our solar theme for the next 6 months is organization. Okay, so when we're talking about earth signs, we already know, particularly for Taurus, but as a whole, collectively for earth, the element represents organization, right? Natural. We are, by nature, we are about organization and structure. I know as a Taurus, I am all about that, right? When it comes to organizing whatever it may be, my home, even at work, wherever it is. But this is the solar theme for us. So obviously the fact that it has come up as our theme can only imply that perhaps maybe we have slacked, right? Which can happen, even for us earth signs who are known to be very structured and organized. But it can happen. It can get the best of us at times. So obviously, like I said, if we have slacked, then this eclipse is going to help us to put us back on track with organizing, whatever this may mean for us, right? And so the 3 cards that came out as potential challenges, remember I pulled 3 cards from the angel guide that will potentially show what could be a challenge for us during this 6 month. The first card that came out was learning experience. Okay, so there is something that we might, either we have experienced something, but maybe we didn't quite learn it, and maybe during this eclipse we will be able to realize something so that we are able to then make that transformation, right? Or if we haven't, for some of you, if it's something that we haven't experienced just yet, there could be something that can come up in the next few months that actually might be presented for us that we might have to learn moving ahead in order to see some type of transformation or change, if that makes sense. Now, the 2 tarot cards that came out, the energies that will clarify what the overall message is, we got the 2 of Wands and we got the 10 of Wands. So we got some fire energy going up in here because Wands is connected to fire. So again, in tying in with our solar theme of organization, it kind of really steer us in some type of an experience that I feel like basically, as I mentioned with the other elements, that I feel that the challenges that are coming up for us, and as for all of the elements, I feel that it's just really speaking upon, no doubt, the challenges that we all have been through already. I don't think per se it's going to be things that is going to be presented for us. I believe Spirit is showing us what has potentially already been a challenge, and so moving ahead, now it's going to help us to really highlight it once again, but now to take action toward whatever it is that has been a challenge. How can we turn around, right? How can we, just like the 10 of Wands, how can we remove the challenges? Because the 10 of Wands is coming out, speaking of that wounded warrior, coming out of challenges, coming out of things, whether it be from people, a place, or a thing that has posed some type of burdens. Burdens can be challenges, right? And so the fact that we got learning experience here, and we have these 2 energies, I feel that when I looked at this, it's something that we may have initiated or started last month or maybe a few months ago. And so it's calling for us to really think about what it was, right? Because to have the 2 of Wands, the 2 of Wands is putting things into action, right? It's planning or picking up the slack to go back to planning whatever it was. Almost like we started something and we didn't finish it. So I feel that there is something that perhaps us earth signs started, initiated, and we didn't see it through. So under this eclipse, it's going to really give us that ammunition. Speaking about that in the overview, it's going to give us the ammunition that's going to fuel us to now complete whatever it was that we didn't complete. And that kind of goes right back into our solo theme of organization. So like I said, there might have been something that we might have slacked on. And if it was, at the same time, I feel that we might have been in some type of an energy where perhaps we might have been a little, maybe even if you will, depressed, or just not ourselves, or even low energy, I feel, right? But now this new moon in Libra is giving us a boost to kind of get back to that organizing, whatever this may mean for us. It's going to look different and be different for all of us earth signs, but whatever it is, Spirit is saying we need to get back on that, get back on track, and to continue to make plans so that we can see progress moving ahead, all right? And once we do that, whatever challenges that we may have stumbled across or that may have come up, it's showing here that now we are at a period or a phase in our lives that we are going to remove those burdens that have been challenging for us, if that makes sense, okay? So, all right, sorry guys, I have to see what alert I was getting here with my pump. So, that is what I see in terms of that particular challenge. Now, moving on to the second challenge that came up for us was honesty and communication. Okay, so I think this is pretty much straightforward. Obviously, for some, this might have been a problem in recent months or recent weeks that there might be somebody in our environment, whether at home, on a home front, or at work, or a friend, whoever this may mean, that we might have been having an issue with in terms of being honest in our communications. Maybe we have been holding back, and maybe now it's time to not hold back, to face up and to go toward that person that maybe we haven't been really honest with in our communications. Now, the two cards that came out was, in fact, speaking about holding back, we got the Four of Pentacles, which is associated with our element because Pentacles is associated with Earth, and we got the Temperance, okay? And I believe the Temperance is associated with Sagittarius. So for some of you, Earth signs, maybe if this is pertaining to a partner or someone that you're connected with, it might he or she might be a Sagittarius, right? Doesn't have to be. Or you could be dealing with another Earth sign like yourself, right? But nonetheless, I feel that some of you may have been holding back on the truth. And maybe it's now time to go within, right? With that energy of the solar eclipse, to go within and to find it in ourselves, right? To be open and to express how we feel, right? Taking that energy like that moon card, going within, because the moon card is also associated with things that we keep hidden, things that we hide. It can represent secrecy, but this is not the time that you really want to continue to hold back on speaking your truth or to communicate. So however and whomever it is that you need to now be upfront and honest with, it could be a boss, it could be someone at work, it could be a friend, it could be a family member. At this point, it could be anybody. But I feel that with the Temperance here, I feel that some of you have been holding back, biting your tongue, because the Temperance card is about patience and perseverance. And I feel that some of you may have been persevering and holding back and being patient to maybe see how things will change. But you're seeing that nothing has come out of it. So use this time of this eclipse to help you to go within yourself, right? That deep layer, to allow yourself to have enough emotions to kind of now gurgitate, if you will, whatever it is that you are keeping inside or not really expressing to someone. All right, so that's what I pick up from there. So I hope that makes sense. And then the last energy that represents a potential challenge for us, we have is sacred plan. Okay, so sacred plan. So sacred plan to me is what it is symbolizing. Now, in this picture here, when you think about something that's sacred, sacred can be connected to anything. But when I really look at this imagery here, this is a sacred plan in terms of what it is and how you connect to source. Whomever your belief system is, right? Whatever plan you have, it's like being open to going to the source, going to the divine, going to the universe, and having faith that whatever it is that has been a challenge for us during the past couple of months, during the past couple of weeks, that now that we are trying to make some type of forward movement to transform something in our lives, sometimes we are not able to do it by ourselves. Sometimes we need to seek the assistance of the divine to give us the tools, to give us the understanding. And when I say tools, that means the knowledge that is within us. We hold within ourselves knowledge because we have intuition. Intuition is connected to our inner soul, right? When we spoke about soul, it mentioned about soul. There's something in the description that I mentioned. A soul something. I can't find it now. I can't find it. But anyway, when we tap in to the sacred aspect of ourselves, we are in fact tapping in to our soul's inner strength, right? The knowledge that we have the knowledge, but we have to also be willing to be open to receive the assistance as well from the universe, from our spirit guides, from our angels, whomever you believe in, right? Because when we incorporate and have them to help us out and to ask for their support, they are going to help us to even further our path to whatever it is that we all are trying to go toward. All our paths are different, but nonetheless, we are all on a journey, right? We are all on a soul journey in life, right? But it's just that the mission and the journey that we're on, the path is going to be different, if that makes sense, right? Now, the two cards that came out, we have is the Knight of Cups and the Empress. And I feel that once I saw these two cards, basically it's all about the emotions. You can't get any more emotional than the Empress. And the Knight of Cups is, to me, it's like, if we have been here as the Knight of Cups shows up as somewhere in between, where our emotions is not too little, it's not too high. It's showing an elevation. So you're going from the Knight of Cups to the Empress. This is all about an all-out message to pour into ourselves more, to love ourselves more, right? Because the Empress is an energy that is nurturing. It's loving, right? A lot of love. She draws and attracts. She's like a magnet for those that are drawn by her energy. So I feel that overall, what is calling for us as earth signs during the 6-month eclipse is that we need to draw upon being willing to not give up on our goal, right? Being focused and not letting anything come between us to knock us off track. okay? But to, again, pour into ourselves and to nurture ourselves. And by doing that, we can successfully, like the Ten of Wands, let those things go that have presented a challenge for us or burdens for us, right? But to get back and to start planning, right? So if we have in some way been burdened or other people have come in to kind of disrupt us or distract us, this is the time that we need to realize what is necessary in order for us to get back into organizing our life. Even if it's for ourselves, it's calling for us to do that. It's calling for us to ground ourselves, right? Earth signs, we need to ground ourselves, take time for ourselves to pour into ourselves so that there is no blockages. And if it has been, this is the time. Now it's interesting because as we close out with the spirit message or the wisdom message from our spirit guide, we got fork in the road. And I think that pretty much sums up the overall message that correlates with the theme of organization. Fork in the road definitely speaks upon any type of blockages, anything that has been a challenge or might come up as a challenge, right? Because like I said, if it's something that you haven't quite experienced, this could be. It's kind of giving you a heads up as to what might pop off. We have 6 months. Anything can happen. Nothing is set in stone. So at this period, you might say, well, right now, nothing hasn't really come up in terms of what might look like these challenges, but we do have 6 months to go during this eclipse that it might pop off. But at least you got a little bit of leadway from Meaningful Intuitive Guided Tarot to give you a little insight into what could happen and to prepare you and how to overcome it. All right? So this is what I got for us Earth signs. I hope the message was very helpful. I hope that it guided you in some way. And most importantly, I hope it brought clarity. Now, if in fact it did just a little bit and you're still curious as to see how it can, what the eclipse will further mean for you even more on a deeper level, I am open for personal readings. The information will be linked into the description box where you can go ahead and book your private session with me via email, because then I will be able to provide a reading for you that will be more tailored to your situation and your energy. All right, Earth signs, if you did like this reading, you know what to do. Send some fire and spark to that thumbs button to give me a like. If by any chance that none of these messages may resonate, I have mentioned that you will also, it will behoove you to maybe check your other placements, because maybe there might be a message under your other placements, which would be your moon or rising sign. And if still there's no messages there, you can always share. If you know someone who might be encountering any of these challenges that have already or might in the next couple of months, you can put them on to this channel and put them and guide them toward this new moon solar eclipse Earth sign reading. All right, my Earth signs, I'm wishing all of you a beautiful Friday night and an even beautiful, safe, and a high vibrational weekend. Take care. Thank you for watching. Peace, love, and light.